Let's get it, everybody. It's that time.
Cause he wanna life. Headlights, I've been with midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the limit, push that bitch into the finish. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Headlights, I've been with midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the limit, push that bitch into the finish. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody that's in the chat, man? Let me know if the audio is good, man, because I know yesterday we had some technical difficulties with the storm that was out here. So I just want to make sure that we get in, we get out, that you guys get, the proper information on what I just is available, out there as far as my top 100 board. So hit the like button. Also, man, give me some thumbs up if the audio is good, man, and then we can keep going. All right, what's going on, Mike Aldana, man? One of my guys out there. Let me know that everything is crystal clear, man. So, as I was trying to say yesterday, this whole process has been a long one, but it's been a very gratifying one. I've been able to really just team up with some guys on Thursday nights that really have made me, expand my horizons as far as the draft game goes. That was my son just, right next to me playing the game. He, helped me expand my horizons, those guys, and really just, take me further than I really thought that I was going to go with this draft process. For me, I knew that I was getting around some sharp individuals, but the level of homework and the level of detail that really went into this, it really just kind of fell into my lap as far as me being able to just um, write notes and create this board. Like I really, just to let you guys know, I really didn't even plan on doing this. I really didn't plan on doing it till I kind of talked to Boss Cowboy. He does his book every year, and then Tuck and Professor O, we talk quite frequent. And I know that they got their own boards. And I just felt out of place, not really having a board. And, I had my notes, but those guys are so sharp that I just felt like I had to keep up. So I created a spreadsheet this year and I was able to kind of tabulate my top 100. But we're going to kind of talk about some of the people that were, that are going to be on it. Before I do anything else, man, also understand some housekeeping rules. Any super chats, they get priority comments no matter what. No matter what you say, you get priority. Also, just to let you guys know that my whole cheat sheet is available. There are two ways that you can do it. You could Cash App DMV Fanatic, and it's $5. So the top 100 cheat sheet is $5. You can Cash App DMV Fanatic, and what you're gonna do is, in the comments, put cheat sheet and the email address that is your preferred email address. And I will gladly send it to you from my DMV email address. Also, another way is you can email me directly at DMV Dallas Cowboys at gmail.com. I have it on the ticker at the bottom. So there's two ways that you can purchase. And when you email me directly, I will give you different options on how you can purchase this. And I will send it directly from that email address. So before we get into anything, man, I just want to, I appreciate everybody that is tuning into this. And, I'm willing to, answer any questions after, I pretty much go over some of the notable names in my top 100. But ultimately, what I put this in place for is while you have your draft, while you at any party, or, right now, you might even just be catching up to some of the prospects you might be behind. Me and my guys been doing this for a couple of months now. So you'll have a cheat sheet to really just go in and check out highlights of specific, players that are out there that you're looking at, or, specific positions that you feel that your team, if it's not the Cowboys, could draft, and you can kind of go in and look at these guys. I done the homework for you guys for the most part, and you just kind of use what I have, and maybe you have your own top 100 boards, or you want to compare it to CBS's, or you want to compare it to ESPN's, but you're getting top of the line homework, and I promise you guys that. So without any further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my screen down, and I'm going to talk about some of the notable guys that we have on my top 100. So I'll go over my top 20 actually. My number one on the board is Bryce Young, and actually it's kind of alternating between him and CJ Stroud. That's my 1 and 2, the quarterbacks, and that's because we believe that the quarterbacks are going to go, your quarterbacks, I think 3 quarterbacks will probably go in your top 5 this year. So on the big board, they have to be up top. So between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, that's where we're at right now. I think that Bryce Young is a slightly better player than CJ Stroud is, but that's interchangeable. Number 3 is Will Anderson out of Alabama. He's your top defensive player on the board. Consensus probably around everywhere. Number 4 for me is Paris Johnson Jr., the tackle out of Ohio State. I think that he's the best tackle in the draft. And if you guys don't believe me, go check out some of that tape. He's excellent, great athleticism, fluent, gets to the second level, finishes, and all of that. My number 5 is Bijan Johnson. I got a graphic here somewhere. Bijan Johnson is my number 5. And remember, Bijan was my top. He was one of my top 10 guys that I would like from the Dallas Cowboys. So check out Bijan. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't want to get a running back. Well, this is just to understand that Bijan is a top level talent in this draft. So this list isn't just for Cowboys, it's for everybody. So understand if Bijan goes 10 to Philadelphia, you know that Philadelphia is getting a top 5 talent. Um, my number my number 6, sorry about that. My number 6 is Peter Skoronsky out of Northwestern. Number 7, Jalen Carter out of Georgia. So Jalen Carter is another one of the top uh, 10 guys that if he fell with Dallas, that's a guy that I would get. Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech is next on the list. You got Christian Gonzalez, cornerback from Oregon, who I have as the number 1 corner on the board. And right after him at number 10 is Joey Porter Jr. And my number 11 is quarterback Anthony Richardson out of Florida. Number 12 is my guy, Quentin Johnston, out of TCU. Excellent talent there. He's a guy that's also in my notable 10 that if he fell to Dallas, that I would take him. He fits everything that Mike McCarthy likes in a receiver, and he would be an excellent talent there if he were to fall to Dallas Cowboys. My next on the list is my guy, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Again, one of my notable guys that if he were to fall, that's who I would pick, or I would pick him in Dallas. Definitely. Number 14, I don't have a graphic for him, but he is going up everybody's board. That's Darnell Wright out of Tennessee. I did a video on Darnell Wright, so if you are not familiar with him as an offensive tackle, go ahead and check that out in my videos. Darnell Wright dominated actually Will Anderson in Alabama's defensive line. So go ahead, check that out. I did some work on him so that you didn't have to do so. And next on the list, Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh. He is my number 15. Number 16 is Devin Witherspoon. I did some work on him too. Did a video on Devin Witherspoon. Go check him out. Cornerback out of Illinois. Number 17, Miles Murphy out of Clemson. Number 18, and he's on the list here somewhere. Let me find him. I think he's on here somewhere. Broderick Jones. So Broderick Jones, I have him as number 18 tackle out of Georgia. Go check him out. If you haven't gone and checked out any tape on him, excellent prospect, especially at left tackle. It's going to be a run on tackles in this first round. So understand that the tackle class is very strong this year. It's very, very strong. And I have a bunch of first round grades on tackles. And I'll get to the breakdown a little bit later. My next number 19, and see if I can find him on graphics, but Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. Excellent prospect there, man. I know my guy Jay Tuck did some work on Anton Harrison, so go check out Jay Tuck's channel at CFO Sports. He did excellent work on, and Jay Tuck has done some excellent work on a lot of these prospects. So go check out his channel as well. My guy's killing it over there. Number 20 is Brian Branch out of Alabama. So that narrows down my top 20. So I'm going to go down on my breakdown as far as by position of the top 100. So as I said, I've done some thorough research. Out of the top 100, I only have 5 quarterbacks. I have 10 running backs. So I was very, very high on the running back position. I know that my guy, Professor O, was like, yo, you had 10 running backs? Yeah, I definitely had 10 running backs. I'm going to send over Professor O my list because I know that he sent me his. Wide receiver, I had 10 wide receivers in the top 100. 6 tight ends. I know tight end is a position that a lot of Dallas Cowboys have been wondering about. So I got 6 of those tight ends in the top 100. Guard is a position that I wasn't as high on this year. And I got 3 guards, 3 centers. So the interior lineman, it's not a premium position this year. So that if you can, lock up one of the top guys, you might want to think about doing that within the first 2 rounds. Because if you don't get one early, later on, there are some guys, but I'm saying the value this year isn't as high on the interior lineman as far as guard and center goes. Now you do have some tackles that might be able to kick down the guard. You have some of those guys, but I mean that might have to be the plan this year because of the lack of interior. Offensive tackles, I have 10 tackles in the top 100. So I told you I was very high on the tackle position this year. And if you're not familiar with the tackle position, this cheat sheet will definitely help you. Defensive tackle, I was very high on the defensive tackle, so I got 10 of them. Got 17 edges. So I was very high on the edges. So by edge, I mean defensive end and outside linebackers, primarily, setting the edge on the outside and coming after the quarterback. I got 17 of them, and that's the highest of the amount. But it could be that, we are bringing together the edges and will be defensive ends and the linebackers. So that could be a reason why. Linebacker, not high on linebacker this year, but later on in this draft, the linebacker position is one in maybe the fourth, fifth round that you can get you some players. But as far as the top 100 goes, the value isn't as high for linebackers this year. Cornerbacks, I got 16 of them in the top 100. Cornerback is another deep class. Now it's weird though. Cornerback, you got phases of cornerback. Like you got some guys that are first rounders, and then it kind of, second round isn't that much, and then you get a whole bunch in the third and fourth round. So that's how it kind of went with this draft. You get a lot of value in the third and fourth round with the corners, but if you need a corner like in the first or second round, you might want to go ahead and get you one. This is also to help you with your mock drafts out there as well. And lastly, safety wasn't as high on safety this year. I only have 6 in the top 100. We talked about it. A lot of us content creators, we talked about the lack of safeties this year and how sleepy they made us, when we checked them out on film. So and that kind of levels out my breakdown by position. And so right now, what I'll do is I'm willing to open for questions. Uh, Willing to open for questions right now. Got my Q&A. Appreciate everybody who is in here. Also, make sure, man, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you like this video. Let's get the algorithms up. And, I appreciate any support from anybody out there willing to purchase one of these guides because I think that it's going to help tremendously. Also, my goal for this year's draft and any drafts moving forward is I remember last year with Tyler Smith, I booed that pick. And it wasn't necessarily that I booed it because I thought he was a bad player. It was because I wasn't as informed on the guys that I really did want. So I didn't do as much due diligence last year as far as guys that we could reach on. I was looking more so at the guys that could fall or guys that were at the level. But what I wasn't looking at was guys that we wouldn't get if in the second round, if it came back around, guys that wouldn't make it to our next pick. That's where I was lacking in my draft research last year. And I wanted to make sure that I did not fall into that trap again. So I watched as many prospects as I possibly could. And here we are. And it created a monster. What's going on, Michael Autry? How you doing out there? Amanda Brown has a question. I know we need help in the trenches, but how strong is the linebacker core? So I'm assuming that you mean the Cowboys. I think that the Cowboys need help at linebacker just as much as the trenches, if not more. Dallas has a lot of question marks at the linebacker. So more so meaning like who's going to play that Sam role, because we did get LVE back for another year, for one more year. Micah Parsons is a bit of a tweener. He's more of an edge right now than he is a linebacker. Anthony Barr was a person that teams attacked on the outside. They attacked this defense laterally because Anthony Barr just couldn't get to the spot. Jabril Cox, for some odd reason, Dallas isn't playing Jabril Cox. Harper had an injury last year, and we had the young boy who stepped in. I don't know why I can't remember his name from LSU, but he stepped in late without any training camp, and he did okay, but we still have a lot of question marks at the linebacker position. So I think that's a position where Dallas could beef up some things in the fourth and fifth round and make some of these guys compete. And I think that ultimately that's what needs to happen. Appreciate it. Any more questions, man? Any more questions? Oh, okay. Michael Lockhart. If Drew Sanders, do we take him at 26? So I can personally tell you off of my board, I have Drew Sanders at number 32. So he's in the range of drafting him. So what I mean by that is, like last year, I would have told you, I'm not drafting Drew Sanders at 26. Like, we got this, and this, and this. Well, if he's Dallas's guy, based on my board, he's somebody that you could draft there who has the value if that's your guy. And that's what I'm all about right now, because Tyler Smith last year was their guy. So if Drew Sanders is their guy, he definitely could fall and be a guy that they take at 26. Do I think the interest is there based on meetings and based on combine visits and stuff? I don't believe it's there, but also keep in mind the last couple of picks weren't 30-day visits. They weren't interviews. Dallas has done a very good job over the last couple of years of keeping that first round pick under wraps. So I think that, it's not out of the realm of possibility if they really like him enough. And also the thing about Sanders is he offers that edge ability as well, a guy that can rush the passer, because he was an edge at first before he transferred to Arkansas. They converted him to a linebacker, so he's a guy that has those things in his tool bag. So if that's what Dallas likes, that's what I could sell you on. He's a guy that, could be a mini Micah, where, it's a chess piece. And also understand too, and I'm just speaking to the Dallas Cowboy fans right now, this draft pick, there's only two positions right now that you could plug and play, and they're going to start right away, more than likely, if you get the guy that you like. That's guard and that's tight end. And you're going to find it hard to get you a guy that's going to come in here and compete at tight end and take it from young Ferg and Hendershot. But at guard, if you find a prospect that you like that can plug and play, that's your automatic start. But if you look on the defensive side of the ball, we got our one technique, we got multiple three techniques that we could throw in there. We got our edges, so you can get a future edge. At linebacker, maybe if you get a prospect that's just better than what we have, maybe you throw him in at the Sam. And appreciate you, Timothy Looper. He was letting me know that it was Damone Clark, and Mike Aldana let me know that as well. But at safety, we're locked there. At corner, we're pretty much locked. Every position that you're pretty much drafting for at this point is for depth and for competition. And my goal, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, is I'm trying to bump some of these really good backups off the roster. If I could get Malik Davis off this roster, I'm going to draft a really good running back. If I could get Nashawn Wright or Kelvin Joseph off this roster in the middle rounds with a corner that I think is just as good, I'm going to do that. If I could get a linebacker, same thing. If I can get a safety to get my guy, to get Izzy off the roster, and my guy from Florida A&M, I can't think of his name right now. Oh, I'm drawing blanks right now. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and being patient with me. But if I can get guys to bump those backup safeties off the roster, I'm gonna, and it makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. If I can get a guard to, come in and start, I'm gonna get that. If I can get a tackle to bump Willetsko or damn Josh Ball, I need somebody to bump Josh Ball ass off this roster. So we definitely got to get us a tackle or a tackle for the future. If I can get a quarterback to get Cooper Rush off this roster, like, I'm going to look to add that. So this is going to be a fun draft, man. I think that Dallas can go BPA in a lot of these rounds. Dallas can be aggressive. They can be aggressive in this draft, and I'm looking forward to it. Mike Aldana says our first 2 to 3 picks need to be day one starters. I disagree with that. I disagree with it because we have a lot of quality starters. Like, you have to look at it this way. Dallas is back to back 12 win team. They're 12 and 1, 12 win team in the last 2 years. They won 12 games. And they have starters at the positions that are pretty good. Plug and play, possibly, yeah. But Quentin Johnston, if he's standing there looking at you, he's a better player than he's a better player than whatever guard you're going to draft, right? And Mike McCarthy does a lot of 11 personnel. Will Quentin Johnston come in right away and start? No. But could he possibly take over for Gallup midway through the year? Yes. So I just think you got to get the best players available with what makes sense, right? Amanda Brown, do you think tight end would be off the table for Dallas? I think that's a smokescreen for me personally. I can't say it's completely off the table, but I do think that Dallas has done a very good job over the last couple of years of keeping it under wraps, and they, kind of leaked that they're going to get a tight end. I don't any leaks day of I would believe, but I wouldn't believe that right now. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Lola? How you doing? What's going on, Lola? And Lola is a member, and if you're interested in membership, feel free to get you a membership. What comes with that is we're gonna start back up the happy hours on Fridays for members only, where we get together over a Zoom, private Zoom, and we get together and we talk as a family, and that's cool for me. Also, if you get the premium membership, what that offers, and I wouldn't recommend getting it now, but if you want to, cool. But what comes with the premium, the top of the line membership, is we're going to get into film study. So we'll have private film sessions where we go over some of the game plans and some of the notes that I'm going to write down for the week. So look for that more so when we get into the year. That's what I would do. I tried to open it up for the draft situation where we'll have some film and we can kind of break it down, but I would, for the premium membership, I would strongly consider getting one of those throughout the year. If you're into the X's and the O's thing, you're into the football, you're into the film breakdown, and game planning and stuff like that. Michael Autry says, give up a fifth to move up to get Darnell Wright. I don't think it's that simple. I just don't. On my board, I got Darnell Wright at 14. It's going to take a lot more than a fifth to go up there and get Darnell Wright. Now, honestly, it would take more than a fifth to even go up to pick number 20. I think you'd have to give up a third rounder. It's going to take a lot to go up and get Darnell Wright. But if he falls to a certain spot, you got to be willing to give up. You got to be willing to give up at least the third round. If you're moving up in the first round, you got to be willing to give up at least the third. So if you're willing to do so, do I think he's worth it? Giving up a third? Yeah, I do. I think if you get to about maybe 20 and he's still on the board, I think you move up and you go get him. But I don't know how Dallas feels about it. He's probably, like, based on what we need, I think that he's going to be an 8 to 10 year starter. Darnell Wright will. Reminds me of one of the tackles or some of the tackles that we've had in history that have had some great success in Dallas. So, yeah, I'm with you, Michael. I'm definitely with you on that. So, are there any more questions, man, or are you guys, what I'm saying, willing and ready to get this cheat sheet? Because, man, when I tell you guys, some work went into this thing and went into this thing, man. Definitely went into this thing. And I'm going to tell you guys how you can purchase it again. If you directly want to purchase it, like right now, and you want it right now. Also, I plan to get it to, as soon as I receive it, in email or in Cash App, to get it to you within the next couple of hours. So Cash App, DMV Fanatic, comment cheat sheet. It's $5. So it's only $5. $5, Cash App, $5. Shoot me your preferred email address, and also, put cheat sheet. That way that I know who I'm sending it to and for what. Also, the other way, if you don't feel as comfortable with Cash App, I have other ways like Venmo, PayPal, and all of that stuff. You can email me at dmvdallascowboys@gmail.com for your inquiry. Just, put cheat sheet in the title, and we can talk from there. But that is my official email address right there. So if you don't see this email address, there's somebody out there trying to scam you. And I mean, that's pretty much it, man, for the show, unless I have any more questions, man. Um, yeah, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Uh, so it is for release, the top 100 sheet, and yeah, I appreciate you guys. And I'm gonna leave you with the outro, and we're gonna be out, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you on a good Sunday. Oh, and if you guys don't know, I know a lot about boxing. If you guys follow my Twitter, which is DMV Fanatic 1 on Twitter, you guys know I called that fight to AT. I told y'all Tank was going to knock him out. I told you why he was going to knock him out. And, I look forward to doing some more boxing content coming up as well. Just to let you guys know, sneak peek, me and Boss Cowboy and J Tuck, and hopefully I can get a Koye on board. I don't really know a Koye like that, but we know of each other. And if we can get some boxing talk going, man, that would be excellent. My Colossal Boxing Talk brothers, we're gonna do some work as well. So look forward to that as well. And some of the off-season talk, because while things are slow, there's going to be some fights coming up, and maybe you guys will be interested in that. But I appreciate you guys, and I'm out. Peace.
I can't feel the pain, I'm numb to all you say. To keep it real and stay 100 through the rain. I can feel there's something missing from your face. So keep it real and stay 100 in your veins. Put me in these boxes, still I'm tryna break away. I just roll it up and down some liquor for my pain. Thoughts inside my head, it's nightmares instead of some dreams. I've been tryna hold on to everything from the seams. Try to get it by any means. There's no accepting defeat with all this pressure that's on me. Stressing whenever I breathe, cause everything is on me. If everybody is down, I gotta pick up all the pieces. Yeah, I can't fall, cause I do it for my daughter, so she can make it farther. Ain't worry about your comments, cause I believe in karma. Time